play so fast? What do you do to develop that type of technique? And of course, I'd be lying if I didn't say it took some time. It doesn't happen overnight. However, the way I did it when I was 14 and 15 and 16 years old is very different from how I do it now. I'd like to think that, things are a lot, I've streamlined that process to a large degree. One of the biggest misconceptions that I run into and that I discovered really didn't work out the way people tell me is, they'll all say it's slow and steady progress. You play a scale or you play a lick or you play a pattern over and over and over and over again until you got it, and then you increase the metronome by 2 beats a minute or 3 beats a minute or whatever, and then you do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again, and after a while it gets faster. Well, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but in my experience, once or twice or 3 times I bumped it up, it never got any faster. I might get up to, say I started at 80, bump it up to 90, bump it up to 100, it never really got past 100. And I would get really frustrated with that. Well, in my frustration one day, screw this, put it up about like 130. Just cranked it up. And played along a few times with it at that. Now, of course, I butchered it. It was way out of my comfort zone. And so I played it a few times that way. But, and it was just a short example. But, let's just take the example of playing a scale, playing a major scale, or say playing a pentatonic scale in 16th notes at 80 beats a minute. And let's say you can do that, but you move the needle up to 85, and all of a sudden you can't do it anymore. So then, if you do it, for a couple minutes at 80, and then bump it up to 100. Are you going to hit them all? No, you're going to miss most of them. But let's say you played it 20 times at 80, play it 8 or 10 times at 100 or 110, and you're going to hit at least a couple of notes here and there towards the end. And then go back to 80, play it a few more times. And notice, in particular, this is another one of those times when rhythm and timing, comes in, your inner clock comes in. Notice what note you are striking at which beat. Okay, those are marks. I call them marks or markers. And notice what those are, so that when you increase the tempo, you will know if you are doing it right, if you are at that note when that beat comes. So what will eventually happen is you'll hit one note, you'll hit the mark, you'll miss the next 3, and then you'll hit the mark again, and you'll miss the next 3. And that's kind of how it starts to evolve. But it's basically, in physical training, it's sprint training. It just so happens I used to race bicycles also, so as I kind of equate it to sprint training. They have the long, slow miles where you just ride at a pace that your body can go out for a long period of time, and then the way you actually go faster on a bicycle has nothing to do with all those long, slow miles. It has to do with the half an hour once a week that you go full blast, and your body has to adapt. Okay, well, I believe that your fingers get complacent, and they won't go faster unless you tell them very explicitly, this is what I expect of you. Figure it out. So, when I was, this came to me when I was about 15 or 16, and I was playing the guitar 6 to 8 hours a day, every day. I had just moved to a new town, Framingham, Massachusetts. I didn't have any friends. I didn't have anything better to do. I was on my guitar all day long, every day. A Saturday, I woke up at 10, I had breakfast, I started playing. My mom told me when it was dinner time. That's how the day went. And after all that time, I really wouldn't see speed gains. That's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Clearly, somebody was doing something wrong, and it was me. Okay, so that's when, and literally, I can remember it like it was yesterday, sitting in my basement. And I won't use the expletive that I used at that time, but I just said, this is ridiculous. And so I just cranked it up and burned through it and went, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Let's try it again. Just try to really burn through it. And that actually was a little bit better, And sure enough, after doing that for a couple of weeks, I was literally amazed at how much progress I made.
Weeks, huh?
Yeah, in weeks.
I had to walk that out by years, I think.
And you know, and a lot of, and honestly, you know, this is in for, how many of you guys have that pentatonic scale and technique mastery course? And that's basically, you know, that course is basically, okay, here's what I did. You know, I got this question a lot. Great, here's what I did. And I applied it to pentatonic and blues scales. I also did the exact same things for multimodal patterns and all that kind of stuff. And you can do that. It's easy to extrapolate. When you've been through that course, all those patterns and everything, it would be very easy to extrapolate them to any other scale pattern that you wanted to use. The sequences of 3, sequences of 4, sequences of 5, whatever sequence you want to do, you know, quarter notes, triplets, eighth notes, all that stuff. All of that translates. But and I believe I do mention this on more than one occasion in that course, to play things at a steady pace and then crank it up and try and play it and then go back to the steady pace. And so that repetition, and I've heard stories from people who have told me, you know, literally 2 to 3, 4 weeks, they're seeing some pretty substantial improvement. So I really do believe it works. It definitely worked for me. I've seen it work for many students in private lesson situations. And I've gotten feedback on people who use that PSTM, as we call it, course, and got those results as well. So does that answer your question? I know it was a long-winded answer, but I think it's important. I know a lot of people are interested in that. So cool. It definitely goes. Yeah, it's both right and left hand. Because you know, let's face it, it's getting the two to work together that's the hard part. You know, the other thing too, sorry, I'll have you do a little math here real quick. Let's say that you're playing eighth notes at 100 beats a minute. So you're playing 2 notes per beat, right? 100 times a minute. So you're playing 200 notes per minute. Now, let's say you're playing 16th notes at 50 beats a minute. How many notes are you playing per minute? It's the exact same number, right? Okay. I used to do this, I used to play this trick on my students. They'd come in and they'd say, I just can't play fast, I just can't play fast. All right, let's figure out how fast you can go. Play eighth notes for me. I start, you know, and get whatever scale they were comfortable with, and I'd start cranking it up. Well, let's say they get to where they could play eighth notes at 180 beats a minute on the metronome. Now that sounds, you know, that's pretty quick, right? But that's not really that fast when you think about it. Well, so eighth notes at 180 beats a minute is 360 notes per minute. So then I turn the metronome down to 90 and say, okay, now play 16th notes. All over the place. I'm like, okay, well, guess what? And I do the math. The problem is not your fingers. It's right here. It's this. You don't hear the subdivision of the beats. Your fingers will only do what your brain tells them to do. So if you cannot mentally subdivide 16th notes, then you cannot play them. It's just not going to work out. In 999 out of 1,000 cases, that is the issue. When somebody walks in my door and says, I can't play fast enough, I all but guarantee that the problem is not that your fingers won't move. The problem is that you can't hear the beats. You can't subdivide the beats. In which case you need to play with a metronome, not at first with a metronome. You need to count 1 and 2 and count them for yourself, count them out loud. Don't just go run for the metronome. That's another one of those conventional wisdom things I don't like. Don't just go running for the metronome and have it go and can subdivide for you. Don't ask something else to do that. Subdivide it for yourself. 1 and 2 and make sure you can do it. Count out loud. If your ear can't hear what comes out of your mouth, it doesn't work. I don't know why. Sorry, I don't know why. But it's worked in every case for 20-something years. So, does that make sense? Make sense to everybody else? Any questions along those lines? While I'm giving everybody a break? No? Everybody's like, no, I can't do that. And the other thing is too, 10 minutes. 10 minutes a day of this. You don't have to do it for hours and hours and hours. You know, Andres Segovia, you know Andres Segovia is the famous classical guitar player. My classical guitar instructor actually was a student of Segovia's. He went to Spain, studied with Segovia. He had a book. A lot of the exercises he gave me were literally photocopied out of a book in Segovia's handwriting. So I have these photocopies. I'll never get rid of them, because I'm like, dude, that's Segovia's handwriting. That's really cool, even though it's a photocopy. I don't care. It still is. In Spain, back in the 1930s or 40s, whenever it was that he was a boy, after high school, you had to go to the military for 2 years. That's the way it was in Spain back then. Of course, he was very concerned because he felt his technique, he'd been practicing for hours a day, and now he figured he was going to have about 45 minutes a day, and that was it. So again, he did, got rid of the clutter, broke it down to this was the stuff he wanted us to focus on in that 45 minutes. Not only did he keep his technique, he improved it pretty dramatically in that 2-year time period. It doesn't take hours and hours and hours a day.
So you're saying I should go join the Spanish military?
Absolutely. Yes. And Pete and I were having this conversation too, via email, about he'd gotten a new thing going on, wasn't going to have as much time anymore, and I was saying, it's just, we had that talk about focus, and focus is a huge thing. And I love what you said about that book. I can't wait to read it about there's no such thing as a balanced life. It's called One Thing or The One Thing. The One Thing. And who wrote it? Gary Keller. The One Thing. And I'm excited to read that. It sounds like a good book. But I like that idea that there's no such thing as a balanced life. There's another expression I've heard many times. It's like something. It's a little campy. It's like where focus goes, energy flows, or something like that. But it really is true. You can't focus on all areas of your playing at all times. And so I think if you're in a mode where you're like, okay, I'm really going to focus on my technique right now, it's fine for 6 or 8 weeks. Yeah, you focus on your technique and you do it for half an hour a day, and you're going to make some pretty substantial gains in that amount of time. If after 3 weeks you're like, man, I'm so done with this, then listen to that voice that says, I am so done with this and I don't want to practice today. Because as soon as it gets to that point, it's time to focus on something else. Because your brain will do all kinds of stuff with that without you. So don't be afraid to put something down. How many of you guys have and I bet I will see every hand in here, but have you ever worked on a tune or played a tune, gotten frustrated, quit playing it, gone on and played something else, come back 2 or 3 weeks later and played it better than you ever played it before? Yeah. So you've all been through this, and me too. Me too. Okay. So again, I'm not a brain surgeon. I don't know why that happens, but I see it all the time. And yeah, that's true. I'll read it. He's got this book that he gave me too, Your Brain on Music. So yeah.
You in one of your videos or something, you're talking about talking or doing the cadence out loud.
Yeah, counting out loud.
How important is that?
It's the most important thing on the planet. Counting out loud is the single most important thing you can possibly do.
That's the hardest thing about everything.
And it's the hardest thing for everybody. And unfortunately, this is a place where I genuinely feel bad for people who are trying to learn on their own. There's nobody that will tell you that, except me. But it's the truth. The problem is, most guys that can play pretty well don't remember how hard that was, and they don't teach privately and haven't taught privately for years and years and years and years, and haven't been through that process. I tell this story all the time of a student being down at the end of the hall in my room, and I'd say, okay, get your guitar out and get set up. I gotta walk down and make a copy, or I'm gonna go fill up my cup of coffee or whatever. And they're 15 feet down the hall in my room, and I'm doing the thing, and I hear him play it, and I know what's wrong. Because the timing's not right. I'm like, I don't hear you counting, and you blew it. And they're like, how do you know that? I'm like, because I can hear you. And they don't understand how I can hear that they're not counting, because they think it's right. When you're a beginner, your ear will lie to you over and over and over again. And your ear will just play tricks on you. I can't tell you, people give me a hard time because I sometimes don't play an example first. And I get this on YouTube a lot. And I love when I get this on YouTube. It's like, dude, just play the thing first so we know what it sounds like and we know whether or not we want to watch the rest of your video. If you're not going to take the 12 minutes, if you don't know that you want to watch the rest of my video, then I know that I don't want you to watch the rest of my video, so we don't need to go any further than that. I'm not putting it on YouTube for the stuff goes on YouTube for you guys. I don't care if anybody else watches it. But the reason that I don't play stuff first is because I've spent so many entire half-hour private lessons trying to overcome that guy's ear playing a trick on it. So I play it, and I go, hey, how's that sound, you little man? I think this is a thing you might really dig. Let me play it for you so you can hear it. And they go, yeah, that's cool. Is that this? No, it's not that. Okay, so now I need you to turn your ears off, turn everything else off, and empty your mind and listen to what I have to say. And do like I need you to do it. Well, as soon as they got an idea in their head, man, it's you know how it is. You got kids. Some of you, when they get an idea in their head, man, that's really hard to get that idea out. And grown-ups are probably no better. We get an idea in our head of how something goes. It's much harder to overcome that preconceived notion of how it's supposed to go than it is to explain how it's supposed to go from the get-go. Does that make sense? So if I don't play something first, it's because I don't want to. It's because I don't want you to get an idea of how you think it goes. Because online especially, you're not gonna, if you get a preconceived notion, you're going to continue with that and you're gonna do it wrong. And I would rather you be mad at me that I didn't play it first and you wasted your 12 minutes of your lunch hour on my video than you play it wrong and it's my fault later on. Does that make sense? Cool. Ready? Is my band ready? Everybody took care of whatever business they need to take care of? You good, Alex? What are you guys playing? Gator Highway? I think I heard that too once.
Yeah, Kelly. Yeah, I moved the mic back in front of the amp. Okay, so I need a little bit of adjustment. I know it's loud here.
So on deck we have Steve and Dick.
It's Griff's.
And they need a third. Let's see. Yeah, Jed. I was having Jed. Jed, do you want to do that? Do we have any other solo guys? Trying to see if we got any other solo guys that are in need of a band. I don't think so. So yeah. So Steve, Dick, and Jed, you guys are on deck. Oh, yes.
this time, baby. I won't be back no more.
Can you guys do, if you're gonna do Texas Flood, can you do it in the key of C sharp, please? C sharp minor? Oh, C sharp minor, yeah, C sharp is worse. Can you guys do, can you bring it up a half step and do it in A flat for me? Can you bring it up a half step and do it in A flat instead of a G, just because it'll be fun to watch Clinton sweat?
Yes, that's
This way's up, this way's up, this way's down.
Quit yelling at me. Mom, Dad, stop fighting.
Texas. Lord, the telephone lines are down. I've been trying to call my baby. Lord, I can't get a single sound. Well, dark clouds to stay. Well, I'm leaving you, baby. Lord, I'm going back home to stay. Well, back home there's no floods and tornadoes. That's a lie. Baby, the sun shines every day.
It was over for a half second. They wiped it off, you got there. Nick, there's a benefit to being hungover.
Hey, in case anybody, if y'all are getting hungry at all, you know, say that cheesy crackers, little snacks and stuff over there.
It's raining in Howard's Pass.
Just little cheesy crackers and stuff. There's a little bit of all right, so now this is where things are going to get a little interesting. We got Steve, Dick, and Jen up here. The next band is Tommy. He's the only one who's here. Let's see, Bob, Phil, and Greg. You guys are all here, right? Joe, Chuck, and Pete are all here. You good? I'm gonna see if I can crank it in still another time. Good, I totally understand. All right, in that case, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put Bob, Phil, and Greg on deck. And then we'll have a couple more groups after that, and then we'll get to a little bit of free form. We're gonna have the Vegas Clan come up, right? The Vegas 3? We'll see. We'll burn that bridge when we get to it.
Suicide Jam.
Down in Texas, all the telephone lines are down.
Good job, Dick.
Huh?
Good job.
I fumbled around up there.
Hey, fit the music. That's, you know what it sounded.
I kept it low. You get covered up a lot. Keyboard player. He does a good job of covering.
Yeah, well, you keeps the rhythm going, so everybody's just kind of.
You'll crank up the volume to kind of fill it in. Oh, you've been up there. You were up there. I got you. I'm going to. I got a lot of the, probably most. Yesterday and today, and I'm going to break them up little pieces with the names. At least yesterday I can follow the sheet. Today it might be a little bit harder, but I'll break them up little pieces and I'll put them on the forum.
Yeah, I have a few.
But that'd be a lot.
Frank's got everything too. Well, and Frank's got everything over there. He's done both days.
Oh, he's got it.
Over there, yeah. Mine's right next to. I only got a little bit. I got bits and pieces, but he's got.
I let it run all day yesterday, and I let it run all day today.
Yeah.
I've got pretty much everything.
Yeah. This is probably time to months before the DVD comes out.
It'll take you a little while to digitize everything. So I'll this week I'll try to get most, if not all, of them. I'll put the ones I don't know in a separate place and say, if you recognize you know them.
Tell me who's here. I can probably tell you most of them. Well, some of them you guys know.
got the key to the highway. Build up a mountain to go. I'm gonna keep running. Hope is walking way too slow.
Before I forget, before these guys start, I didn't tell Pete, Chuck, and Joe that you're on deck. But you're on deck. Now I've told you. Oh wait, I forgot Pete on the guitar. He's not allowed to play. We're gonna see if it works today, right? Oh, now yeah, he's pulling the. If I screw up, it's the guitar's fault. So, all right, yeah. So you guys are on deck.
Baby, don't you wanna go home? Come on, baby, don't you go home. After Pennsylvania, my sweet orange Chicago.
We're just discussing me. All right. Let's see. We have, after these guys on deck, we have Lynn, David Lloyd, which is actually our last official group for the day. After that, though, Tom is back, Tom T, so I want to get him up, and I want to give Tommy, let's get the two Toms up again. But you know, it's going to get a little bit loose. So at this point, I just want to make sure everybody's gotten a chance, so we'll get the Toms up to go again. And then if we want to do the Vegas 3 have come to me and want to do it too. So, well, we have the room. We're on a little bit of a schedule today because there's actually a video shoot going on in this room. So basically, we get done and we leave, and then they come in and they shoot a video here. So we can't really run over. But we have about an hour to go. We'll have 45 minutes or so once these guys are done. We'll still have some time. So. And anyway, this is Joe Tucker Pete. We're gonna have Lynn, David Lloyd on deck. What's that?
Yes, it is.
I'm almost level with the ground. Go down. I'm almost level with the ground. Well, I can swim up, but he can't be found. Well, I went to the river to jump in. My family showed up and said, I will tell you where. I'm almost level with the ground. Well, I can swim up, and he can't be found. Well, I love you, babe, with all my heart and soul. A love like mine will never grow. I love you in the morning and in the evening too. But every time you leave me, I really want me to. I don't believe that your love is true. And I'm almost there. Well,
Beat that guitar doesn't sound any good, you better give it to me. Throw it in freely. Wide open. That day at school.
know you haven't done nothing. You drove a good man away from home. When the moon peeks over the mountain, little girl, I'll be on my way. I'm gonna roam this old highway to the break of day.
You guys are pretty good. It's gone away for good. The thrill is gone, baby. It's gone away for good. Someday I'll never be open on, baby. Just like I know a good man should.
from your spell. Here you go. Free now, baby. I'm free from your deadly spell. And now that it's over, all I can do is wish you well.
All right, so I don't need this anymore. We got a little bit of time left, and so Pete and Lynn and Cowboy have a song they would like to share with you. So we're gonna let them do that.
Oh, you know, I've seen this one. I know.
You say that one?
Yeah.
George and Mark, do you guys want to try to do something? Yeah. Because also, Tom needs to get up, so we could, unless you guys want to do you two and, I forget who was the biggest person.
Yeah, you've seen it?
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, this thing is,
It's really cool.
it's 9 minutes, 34 seconds. He doesn't give up.
Yeah.
I think it's time for some drinks. Alright, so let's do this, and I'm gonna figure out. Is there anybody who's like, hell yeah, I want to go again?
I do, I want to sing one song.
You just want to go again? Let me see if talk to Tom.
I do want to and play. I think it's a song.
with Tom.
I'll play with whoever, yeah.
All right, let's do George and Tom.
Play.
Tom, T, come on up. Let's do that so Tom gets a chance to go. And we need one more. Anybody? Anybody? I saw Terry first. So I saw that hand go first.
On the iPad. Go down.
Thanks, Terry, for helping out. Sing one song and play part of it. Never know. Not good.
If it sounds real bad, just cut the
I've done everything. There's no more stretching to be done. Hanging off to your life. Welcome. You want to shuffle straight? Great. I'll give you the headstock. Okay? Yeah. Everybody got power? Yep. Oh.
Oh, it's a Noah's fault. Usually, that's actually a really good question. How do the breaks happen? In reality, not everybody's gonna do that song the same way. So, if you were on, if you were on a bandstand with a bunch of people you didn't know, you would, as Chris says, give me a head start. So you might do a when, and also he'd probably hear and he would know, okay, that's the if he knew that song, he would know that's the lyric that goes with it. But if he didn't, you'd say, you might give him hey, here's the breaks, boom, just some sort of signal. It's usually pretty easy to do. You ever play against him? You guys good? Okay. So then, what we'll do, a little experiment. Gonna come and play? Bob, can I borrow my guitar? Yeah. And if what we're gonna do, I know there's a couple of you guys that this is kind of an experiment in a little bit. One of the things that Tim happens to be working on a lot is modal playing. If you guys are familiar with modes, major scales, boring scales, and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to do a little thing just to try and give them an opportunity to put this in. He never gets a chance to put this into practice in a live playing situation. So we're going to try and do that. We can of course take one more guitar player up here. So if anybody is into that style of playing, this is not going to be a blues tune. But if anybody else kind of trying to mess around with modes or anything like that, just curious. Say it. We're just gonna bam on a 2-5-1 and D. That's what. All right, let's go. You wanna try a little too fast? That's actually a better idea. Well, it's a jazz tune called Bossa. So if you're familiar with the tune, come on up. If not, you'll be hanging on. It's going to change keys and a lot of stuff. It'll be tough to hang on with if you don't have Not too fast. Yeah, who knows? All right, we have a lot of time left. Let me just ask, have I egregiously just grossly missed anyone? Anybody not playing today? That would be really bad. I'm leaving that alone.
Smart man. Smart man.
What's that? Okay. Any last minute questions or thoughts? Anything I can answer before once we turn into clear down and clear out mode, it moves fast and furious. So.
Are you up for dinner again this year after you're done here?
Yeah.
It's on
For
me.
sure.
We're in the same place, I guess. I might.
Yeah, probably. Quite a few guys actually have come up and asked me, some pedal questions and stuff like that, about like which pedals I'm playing there, which pedals I'm playing there. One of the things
I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm having a hard time controlling where my volume needs to be on my guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm cutting it up a little bit, and then everybody out here says, man, you need to be a lot louder.
Well, the first thing you got to keep in mind is that your volume up here and their volume out there are not actually really related at all. We've got a sound man to handle the volume out there.
Everybody tells me, Chuck, you need to turn it up.
Well, what they mean is that right now, they're not, there's two parts to that. One is, in my experience, people will say, oh, I can't hear the guitar, or I can't hear the keyboards, until I take it away. And then they go, oh, where'd the keyboard go? I just thought you told me you couldn't hear it. Okay, so if the mix is good, and of course it's gonna be, then no one instrument is going to be so dominating that people are really going to be able to pick it out.
Oh, I follow you on the rhythm and the comping portions of it, right? But when it's time for me to crank it up to the lead, it's kind of like...
Right. Now there's a couple of things about that. So yeah, when your lead comes along, I mean obviously you gotta.
Worried about going too far.
If you go too far, it'll be obvious. I mean, people will know. But again, if you crank it up, if you crank it up to the point that you can hear it well, the sound man will take it from there. That's all you need.
Okay.
There are definitely instances where if you're at let's say you're at a new venue. I mean, this is the reason I run a volume pedal on my board.
Yeah.
It's because I'm playing at a venue often where the sound man has no idea who I am, has no idea what songs we're gonna do, has no idea how the songs go, has no idea when the solos are gonna come up. There's no set list for him, so all he can do is sit there and watch and go, ooh, I think somebody's taking a solo now, and push that person out. So I can take care of that for him by hitting a volume pedal. So that's one way to do it. Now, that only works if the volume pedal comes after the overdrive in the signal chain, like I was talking about yesterday. So in our situation, the volume on the guitar, yeah, it will give you a little bit of a bump though. Depending on how much, if you've got a lot of overdrive, it's not going to be as much of a bump. But
Yeah, and I stayed away from the pedal because I'm kind of like a little bit more of a clean pedal anyway. But I cranked it up, but obviously it wasn't enough because everybody was saying you need to crank the guitar. And I did crank it up.
yeah, I mean, it's it's hard to say. A lot of it is just that, we're running through a lot of people, one after the other. So one guy's guitar is louder than another, and the next guy's guitar is not.
I can chime in with a couple nuggets as
Yeah,
well.
please.
Sometimes I'll just miss something like a cue that is a visual. I'm looking for visual cues, so if
Just
somebody
right there.
comes, oh, okay, visual cue. How you doing? So if you don't make that obvious, like somebody just kind of starts playing, and I'm looking at 3 guitar players with my 50-year-old eyeballs, trying to figure out who's playing in order to bump them up. So you have to control your own destiny a little bit by helping out, going up. The other thing that would happen once in a while is they would the guitar players are switched, so I have like channel 1 is that last one, 2 is that one. And so sometimes I'm like trying to rethink what's going on. But the other thing is a visual cue between the guitar players that says, you take it.
Yeah, and we kind of grouped that up because we had it agreed to us that Pete's gonna go first, I'm gonna, but you didn't know that.
No, my crystal ball's in the shop right now. But if there's a visual cue that says, okay, you take it, and then I just go right for the fader. It's a monkey can do my job at that point. Don't tell anybody that. So, you help my job out. I can mess up once in a while, but you help my job out by being really obvious. Okay, I'm taking it, I'm stepping forward, and I'm goosing my little volume knob there and saying, check this out, I'm soloing. So it's really a visual cue that tells me what's going on.
And your audience likes that too. The performer in us, I've learned over the years that exaggerating everything is a big key. Distance, you really lose those details. So, there's a reason that I don't play my guitar solo back here. There's a reason I do this and come out to play. It's not just that I love myself so much and I think everybody, needs to see me do that. You don't want to have to look through a mic stand and an iPod. You want to see clearly what's going on. So it's sort of a mutual interaction. It's a communication. Did you have a question, Mike?
Yeah, you mentioned going into a venue where you don't know the sound man and everything.
Right.
When you're setting up, they always tell you to use max volume.
Right, don't.
Okay, that's the question.
Just between you and me. Nothing personal, Kelly. I never do.
I'm well versed in being tricked.
Yeah, he knows it. He knows it. But yeah.
Trumpet players are the worst. They're like in another zip code from the microphone. And then when they start, it's...
Yep, that's true. It's so true. And the other thing too is with these microphones. Listen to the distance. Listen to what it sounds like when I'm right here on the microphone. Listen to what it sounds like when I'm just this far away. You hear that? Here I have, it's a nice round tone. You can hear it just fine. Here I'm thin and lifeless, and you can barely hear it. That's on purpose. All right, so here's this. Most of you would probably be here. This is what you would think that you would need to be, right? Like this. When I sing, I'm touching the microphone. Just the mic. They say that. If you're weird about it, carry a can of Lysol with you. Whatever, for you guys that are singing though, that's a huge thing. If you're like, I can't hear myself, I can't, they say they can't hear me in the crowd. Well, the thing about these microphones, these stage mics, is, is somebody leaving? Hey, bye, Wally. Everybody say bye, Wally. Thank you so much for coming. So sad, this part. we laugh. You guys are like family to us, really. And thank you for coming. What's that? It's our pleasure. My wife's great at it. You should let them. Give Laura a hand. What was your question?
My question, that's what I want to say. Thanks to all you guys for putting up with us for the whole weekend.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Absolutely our pleasure.
Thanks, Mark, for all the good food and hospitality.
Yep.
Our pleasure. Well, what I'm going to do then, I think we're going to call it a wrap, and we're going to start tearing down. I do appreciate that a lot of you guys are going to say, what can I do to help? What can I do to help? The first thing you can do to help is to stay the hell out of the way. nothing personal. There's a method and there's a system and there's just a way things have to go. When, 20 minutes from now, when everything is all wrapped up nice and where it needs to be, and I'm not going to have to hunt for it for 6 weeks, and it's all going to need to end up in the truck. Anybody who's got a strong back, stick around and we'll take care of it then. But for right now, if you can just give us a little bit of time to wrap up cables and such. Give the band a hand, absolutely. I'll take the opportunity to let any of you aspiring drummers know that Chris has a website that we've been working on called playdrumsbyear.net. In case any of you guys are aspiring drummers, even if you're not, I sent out an email once upon a time, linked to a video of his just with a simple rock beat. If you can't do a simple rock beat, you should learn it. It's going to help your guitar playing, So something to think about. And then Quentin has a website called bluespianorevealed.com, and we're working on putting together some more stuff with that right now, presently, in fact. And Q's Blues is coming along nicely, I'll say. So that's sort of a labor of love for me, because I've always wanted to be able to play piano well. I don't, so I've always wanted to be a drummer too. So I'm basically just hitting up all my friends to make the stuff that I want. That's what we're at too. But anyway, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for being a part of our family. And I'll be, like I said, I'll be sending out some stuff to you. Just a little survey with tell me how you liked it, and suggestions for next year, and with any luck, we'll see all of you and many more just like you in 2014. So have a great travel, safe travels, get home.
All right.
Absolutely give it up for Kelly. Definitely give it up for Kelly. And for Alex and Michael. Michael, who's not here right now, but he was here last night filming the show. And thank you guys for everything you do. I'll try not to take 6 months to get the getting used to it.
see you.
Great to see everybody. A lot of fun. See what happens next year. What? Thank you very much. See what happens next year. Bigger and better? Bigger and better weather going home. Oh, yeah.
Double check, make sure I return his guitar in the same shape I got it.
My wife says, so what are you going to do now? You got a lot of time before you leave. I said, oh, come on. You have no idea.
Hang out with Tim tonight.
I don't think so. I don't think Tim's going to be hanging anywhere. This is true.
Chuck, pleasure. Dad, you hit the road, buddy?
Yeah.
Man, I sure did. Hey, you know your family, all right? All right. I enjoyed it, buddy. See you next year, too. Maybe before.